Just gone 25 past 12. I thought we should have a look at one of the biggest sporting events in the world, which doesn't get mentioned enough in this country, really, given the worldwide interest in basketball and massive interest in this country too. When we've got the NBA finals on, producing lots of late drama. So let's get the NBA analyst Alister Albert on, who's been following the action during the night. Look, take us through the basics here. Assume no knowledge, just so we can get people interested. It's the Indiana Pacers playing the Oklahoma City Thunder. I mean, these aren't massive names, are they? These two franchises, as Americans call them.
No, they're not. They're actually definitely one of these teams both of these teams that are in small markets that, there's lots to talk about these small market teams that don't get as much exposure as they should. And these are two teams that are in that position where they're not getting a lot of national television games and all of that. But the Oklahoma City Thunder have been the best team the last 2 seasons in the NBA and getting that credibility and exposure.
So how did they suddenly get good? How does that happen?
By lots of things, lots of different variables there. They have a general manager who's done really good in acquiring talent, making trades, and kind of getting the team, bolstered up for the competition, and players that have just developed every single year and shown, capability and elite skill throughout the year. Of course, the MVP of the season, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's on the Oklahoma City Thunder, the superstar of that team, he's led them to this point of that development, and it culminates in this finals run, and that's what we're seeing here with both of these teams coming in, doing really well throughout the season.
I mean, to be clear, it's not something you can just throw money at, is it?
No, not at all. There's a lot of things. There's team chemistry, a GM understanding, the team makeups and, what skills are required and, getting the right people for the right positions and schemes and defensive plays and offensive plays that the coach wants to instill. So it's getting the right players and the right chemistry in play and getting the continuity built throughout the season to develop a team that's, cohesive and does what it needs to do on the court.
Okay, so who has had the tougher route to the final out of Indiana and Oklahoma?
Oh, that's a really good question. I think it's debatable. Both of them have had a really tough route but I think most people will default to saying the Indiana Pacers because they have been the underdog throughout the whole playoffs. From the first round playing against the Milwaukee Bucks, second round against the New York Knicks, and now getting through to the finals that they're in right now. Everyone has consistently seen them as the underdog. So I think with that, that's probably the obvious answer to say that they've had the more painful route to get to the finals. The Oklahoma City Thunder have been the best team throughout the whole season, one of the best defensive teams all throughout the year. MVP who led the team, the league in scoring for the whole season. So he's been producing, and a team around him, that's been doing really well. So they have kind of done what has been expected of them, despite going through some really tough competition in the West. So to answer that question specifically, I'd say the Indiana Pacers, but the route for the Oklahoma City Thunder as well has been tough throughout the Western Conference playoffs to get to this point, and they've done well.
Okay, so briefly, this is a best of 7 game series for glory, yes. And I mean, Indiana just won the first one at the absolute death.
Oh, yes. Right at the buzzer, 1.3 seconds left. Tyrese Haliburton, who many people have been discussing whether or not he's a superstar in the league or not, came up and was very superstar-like in the final seconds of that game. And, it was outstanding to see him, playing a game which most people would look at a box score and the stats and just see was pretty pedestrian for him and not superstar-like. But what he's shown throughout these playoffs on 4 different occasions now, at the moments when it's most critical, where you need someone to make a basket to win the game, he's been the guy for the Indiana Pacers. And, they were able to just pull out this game in very dramatic fashion because throughout the start of the game, they were struggling. The Oklahoma City Thunder was stealing the ball from them quite a lot. There were 14 steals, to count that stat for the Oklahoma City Thunder, turning them over quite a bit. And, they were just not able to find their balance on the court properly. But, as the game went on, they just continued to keep their poise, keep chipping away. Rick Carlisle, their coach, I give him massive credit for keeping this team focused throughout all, the nitty-gritties of the game and the difficulties and adversity that they faced. And they were able to come down to the last second, making a really terrific shot by Haliburton, taking the game in dramatic fashion.
Okay, you've really sparked my interest, and I'm sure that of many others. Alister Albert, thank you very much. It's just gone 12:30.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.